Hi everyone, my name is Sarah and this is episode 34 of Sarah's Creative Corner, just my little corner of the internet where I chat about all the crafty creative things that I've been up to over the past few weeks. This one is also late again. I was going to record a couple weeks ago, but I forgot some things. So we're gonna just kind of do like a July wrap up since we're kind of towards the end of July and just chat about all the things that I've finished so far and some things that I've started and kind of how Tour de Fleece is going since we're right at the end of Tour de Fleece now. When I post this, it'll be the last day, but I did a little bit of spinning. But yeah, so we'll talk about some finished objects, some works in progress, and some acquisitions that I've gotten over the past month and a future plan that I have, and yeah, that's really it. So all the links for all the things that I'll be chatting about will be down below, so all the dyers and designers and all the Ravelry project pages for all the projects that I mentioned will be down there, as well as any social media like my Ravelry and my Instagram. So you can go ahead and, peruse down there if you are curious to see some more information. But yeah, I guess we can go ahead and get started with all of the finished objects. I have 4 finished objects to show you guys. I'm pretty sure all of these were not finished last time I showed you. I checked before I started recording, but yeah. So I have 4 finished objects, and I'll just go with the ones that you have seen first and then talk about the other ones that I've cast on since the last episode. So the first one that I finished, I think I might have finished this just a little bit after my last recording, and that is my Selma sleep suit. And as you can see, there's still ends that need to be woven in, and I need to put the buttons in, but that's totally okay. It is off the needles, just need to do the finishing and stuff like that. But yeah, this is the Selma sleep suit by Petite Knit. I did the second size, so I think that's 3 to 6 months, and I sized up one needle size, so I think it called for US 6, and I did a US 7, and I used Lion Brand's Wool Ease in Blossom Heather, something like that, Rose Heather. It's just like a heathery light pink color, and yeah, I have started doing some of the flaps as you can see. So this one's done, and it'll cover her little hands. I've done half of this one. I've done half of this one. I haven't even touched this one. But yeah, just need to kind of do all the finishings on this, but otherwise it is finished and I'm pretty happy with it. I was kind of worried that it was going to be huge, but after comparing it with like other snow / big suits for that age range, it seems to be a comparable size, so that is good. But yeah, that is the first thing that I finished this past month. And then the other ones are just a bunch of socks. I have a whole bunch of socks that I finished over the past month. So this one I think you saw last. It was just a half finished object last time, and I'm guessing it was here when you last saw it, and I finished it. These socks are for myself. They are knit up in a homespun house. I think it was April 2024. And it's one of the Patreon sock sets called Meet Cute. So this was the mini color, and this was the main skein. And I think they knit up pretty evenly, so I'm pretty happy with it. And then for the heel, I just used the Lang Ya wool in, I think, like natural or something. I can't remember exactly what it is, but whatever the cream color is. And yeah, pretty sure I did 20 rounds of ribbing, 2x2 ribbing for the cuff. And then I think for the leg I did 50 rounds and just did a heel flap and gusset in my normal foot length. I wasn't sure how much yarn I would need since the Homespun House sock sets are like the main skeins are 50 grams instead of 100. So I just made the sock a little bit shorter than I normally would just to kind of compensate for that. So yeah, pretty happy with these. Very colorful and bright. And yeah, I just used 9-inch circulars, US 1.5. And I think I used that for all of these guys. And then for the toes, I just switched to US 1.5 magic loop. And then I did the heel on just like some straight, like double pointed needles for the heels, also in a 1.5. So that is these ones. And then I think right after I cast those off, I started working on fixing one of the pairs of socks that I was making that I had made for my husband, but the gusset was too small. So I have finished that pair of socks. This is Nomadic yarn in Out of the Woods, I think it's called. And it's just like a striped woodlandy, I guess, colors. And this is 64 stitches, and I did 20 rounds of ribbing for the cuff, 60 rounds for the leg, and then just whatever for his foot length. I just ripped out the sock and redid it. And for the first one, I just barely ran out of yarn, so I used whatever. I used my Regia, or not my Regia, my Langya wool just to finish off the toe there. But somehow for the second one, I still had plenty of yarn left. And by plenty, I mean like a yard or something. So I was able to Kitchener and finish off the foot on these ones. And yeah, pretty happy with them. I did this sock for Sock Week, and Sock Week finishes tomorrow. It's just like a knit-along, week-long knit-along that Natalie from Knitty Natty does, and you just knit one adult sock in a week. And I cast these on Wednesday, actually, and cast them off yesterday, which was Friday. So I got these done in 48 hours, which is pretty good. Pretty happy about that. But yeah, I think that's really it. Also knit these on US 1.5 small circulars, and I did heel flap and gusset and held the yarn together with the reinforcement thread from Lang. That's pair number 2. And the last pair that I did is these ones, and they are definitely cousins, not sisters. They knit up very differently, which is totally okay. But yeah, this is, I have the tag, Hello Stella Fibers, basic Stella, which is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and the colorway is Pricilla, Queen of the Desert. I honestly don't know where or when I got this yarn, but I have it, and yeah, it was nice to knit up. And oh, there we go. I had some pooling, but I didn't think it was that bad. And since it was like a long repeat of pooling, I was talking to one of my friends and we kind of decided that it probably wouldn't change that much even if I did a textured sock. So I just kind of kept it with a vanilla sock, and I just did a super vanilla and did everything in the same color, which I haven't done in a little bit, outside of the striped socks. And I think that's really it about these ones. I did 2x2 cuff for 20 rounds, 60 rounds for these ones for the leg, and then the size medium heel flap, and yeah, nothing crazy. I just kind of follow the instructions from the Crazy Sock Lady and go from there. But that is the last pair of socks and the last finished object that I have for this past month. So I guess we can go ahead and get into my other works in progress. The first one we can talk about is this one. I really didn't get much. I didn't do a lot on this one since last time. I kind of changed directions on what I was going to work on, which is totally okay. One of my needles was loose. But the first work in progress is the Salty Air Tea. This is by Samantha Guerin. And let me see. The last time I showed you, I had just started the lace repeat. And I think I'm on the 3rd lace repeat now. So yeah, I'm knitting this, knitting the 4th size, and I went up a needle size, so I'm using US 5, and I think that's really it. Nothing too crazy about it. I think now I probably don't remember the repeat, like the lace repeat, but once I probably get back into it, it probably won't be that bad. And yeah, I'm using Knitpicks, their, Lindy chain in, it's not cornflower blue, but it's basically like a light powdery cornflower blue color. And that's really it. Nothing too crazy. I've been kind of focusing on other things to knit on, especially since this one isn't as mindless. So yeah, that is this one that I have been working on. I joined the second ball of yarn out of 5 that I have, so I should have plenty to make a tea for myself. So that's number 1. And I don't think you've seen the other 2, because last time I was working on the socks and the sleepsuit. So the other 2 are new cast-ons. I'll do the one for me, and then I'll do the one for baby next. So the first one for me is something that I have been wanting to cast on for a while, but just didn't push myself to for some reason, but I just didn't. So this one is the Second Avenue Sweatshirt by Briana Lupino, or the Little Wolf Knits. It is a drop shoulder boucle sweatshirt kind of deal. It's kind of like the Superlative Sweater by Samantha Guerin, but this one has like more neck shaping. So yeah, very happy with this. I'm knitting the 5th size. I think I'm using the called for needles, which is a US 7, and the yarn that I'm using is Explore Knits and Fibers. They're Boucle DK in the Gaudi colorway from their Spain collection like a year and a half ago or something. So I've had this yarn in stash for quite a while. So I'm very happy to be working with it, and I've joined the second ball of yarn, and I think I'm getting there. It's boucle. It's not the easiest to knit with, but it's not super hard, just not as smooth as, you know, just like a normal applied yarn. But otherwise, I'm really enjoying it. I really like the color, and I think it'll be a nice addition for the cooler months, especially with baby. It'll probably just be nice to have something to slip on and easy to wear and stuff like that. So yeah, I think I will probably do the collar soon, just to see like how it changes, how everything's like brought up and stuff like that. But we'll see when I get that going. So far so good. I'm just knitting in the round. I will say I'm pretty proud of my, because this is drop shoulder. You like knit the back panel and pick up stitches for the front, left and right panels. Pretty happy with like my picked up stitches. Like it's right in here and you really can't tell. So very proud of that. And I also picked up the correct number of stitches like the first time, and that was also a nice little pat on the back for me. But yeah, just kind of chugging along on this. I started this a couple weeks ago, so still got a ways to go on this. All right, and the next thing that I've been working on is something for baby, and that is it's called the Ellen's christening dress. So I have started it, and I've gone, I'm probably, I don't know. So it calls for 18 repeats of these like dandelion stitches. And I'm on repeat 8, about to start 9. So like kind of halfway, but not really. It's supposed to be like really long. But we'll see how long I make it. And then I'll just need to add the little sleeves, and you do an I-cord around the neck, and then you add a little button on the back. But yeah, very happy with this. It is kind of mindless. I'm knitting the smallest size, which I think is a 2 to 4 month, and I'm knitting it in Sandusgarn Baby Woolonette, which I think is just like their baby wool. But yeah, I've never used this yarn, but I've been enjoying it so far. And yeah, I don't think there's anything else to say about this. I guess it was kind of off in some of the stitches. Like before I did the first dandelion repeat, the number of stitches was correct, but then once I did the first dandelion stitch repeat, the number of stitches weren't correct. I don't really know where it went off, but I just kind of kept going with it, and like as you can see, the dandelion stitches are kind of off center from each other, so I just make sure that I line them up. And since it's a dress, it doesn't really matter how many stitches are going to be in it at the end, because you're just going to bind off anyway. So that was the only little wonky part that I noticed of the pattern. But yeah, other than that, it's been very nice. It's kind of mindless, especially like on the like break rows in between the dandelion stitches. And the pattern is only 2 rows, so it's not too bad. Just need to make sure that or at least I have to make sure that I'm lining up the stitches, particularly under the sleeve or like on the side of the dress. But other than that, that is this guy. She's very cute, and I don't think it'll be too much longer before I finish this, I think. but we'll see. Maybe I'll add in a couple more balls of yarn and then do the sleeves and the I-cord and kind of see where we are from there, especially since I'm almost at 9 repeats out of 18. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how long I go on this one. All right. And then, yeah, that's actually all the knitting things that I've been up to over the past month or so. I did do some spinning for Tour de Fleece. I didn't do a lot. I also have some fiber on my wheel now that I'm trying to work through. And yeah, it's not too crazy. So I started the first half of a ply or of a spin and I finished it. And that is this guy. This is from the La Mercerie Year of Fiber. This is January's, and we are in July, almost August. So glad to be getting this kind of out of stash. But this is from Yarn Jam, and the colorway is called A Brand New Day. Let's see. And it's really just like this reddish orange and blue, and then some like lighter bits in between. And I'm doing a 2-ply fractal. So I split it in half, and then I split the first half in half, and then I split the other half into 4s. Yes, I have my other halves over here. So this is what the other ply will be, as you can see, like the colors in it. So I'm really excited to get this one done, and it's a Shanico fiber, which is what Yarn Jam is known for, and it's not really my colors per se, but maybe I'll knit something for my husband or something out of it, and we'll see. But yeah, that is this one that I've been working on. And then the other one that I'm working on, it's on my wheel and it's over there, but it is from the Cookware Club that Little Fiber Co. did last year. And I think it was March's color. It was Time. And I think the fiber is Rambouillet. I can't remember when or the fiber, but I am almost halfway done with the 4-ounce braid, and since it's just a solid color, I just split the braid up into quarters just to make it easier to spin from. And I have I think it's a merino silk that I spun up from Big Little Fiber Co. that I want to ply with it. So that is the current plan for that. It's nice to have some spinning going. I definitely needed a little bit of a break from the fiber countdown that I was doing, because it felt kind of repetitive with the like colors. It almost seemed like there was a bright color and then like a neutral and a bright and then a neutral. So nice to kind of switch it up. And yeah, I think I finished 8 days on that one, or at least like the first half of the 8 days. And yeah, I'm using my electric eel wheel, my 6.1, to spin it up, which is the ones with these bobbins, these bigger guys. And I did get like a couple new accessories for it. I got new like ceramic guides for the fiber, just to kind of help remedy, since I do spin so fine. I find that sometimes it'll almost like cut a groove into the 3D printed like pieces. So I figured that the ceramic might be a little bit helpful. And I also got these like dragon clips. I think are supposed to help hold the ply together, especially when the spin, yeah, the ply together once you have plied some yarn up. So we'll see how that goes. I've just been thinking through my fiber that I have and kind of how I want to go about spinning it. I want to try some more 3-plies and like chain plying and stuff like that. But yeah, maybe the second half of the year will be kind of a spinning, maybe like spinning heavy, but we'll see. But yeah, so that's all the like crafting things that I've done the past month or so. So we can go ahead and get into some acquisitions. I do have one that I had last time, but I forgot. So I got a couple things from Sassafras Knits, I guess like a month ago or so. And the first one I got was this 2024 like walk through nature. So it's a bunch of just beginning of round markers with different like stones and stuff on them. I really like her stitch markers and beginning of round markers. So I think she posted that this was like the only one that she had left, or there were just like a couple. So decided to snatch that up. And then while I was also on her website, I saw this one. It's a little progress keeper with a strawberry, which I thought was very cute. So I just grabbed that one too. So those are the ones from Sassafras that I got. And I have some yarn. My monthly, Homespun house came. This is June's, and this is Mermaid's Wish. Blue and a pink. Almost kind of a similar pink to this one. Similar, but not the same. Kind of similar saturation. So, yeah. There's that one, and then the 3 minis. We got Summer 69, Heartbreak, and Marigold. Got those ones. So, slowly starting to knit my way through the Homespun house. I have some ideas on knitting through some of the sock sets, and yeah, very happy with it otherwise. And then I also got stitch markers, or yes, progress keepers from Littlest Charm Co. I think these are from the first sock week, which is like ice cream social themed, I think. And I got one of each. I got this one, which is like a little mint chocolate chip narwhal, and then the little Neapolitan ice cream sandwich. I've never gotten anything from Littlest Charm Co. before, but I thought this is like kind of easy to get, and I use my progress keepers anyway, so it's not like it's a waste, or like, not that it's a waste, but it's not like it won't be used at some point. So yeah, and I also got one for a friend too, but yeah, that is the one that's in here. And the last thing that I have that I acquired over the past month, but I actually just got this a couple days ago. This is North Bay Fiber. It's a new dyer, I guess, to me. And it's a 100% Targhee polypay wool. And it is a heavy DK, light worsted, non-superwash 2-ply woolen spun, approximately 150 yards to 50 grams. And this is for the textured sweater that Tori just did the test call for. So I got into her test, and this kind of goes into like future plans too. So I'm just going to try to cast this on, do like a gauge swatch to kind of get caught up since I was waiting for my yarn. And the colorway I got is Traverse, which is kind of like a mauve-y color, like a purpley. And I got, I think like 10 or 11 skeins. Since these are 50 grams, had to get more, but that's okay. And I'm excited to work with a woolen spun yarn. I haven't worked with a woolen spun yarn before. So that'll be interesting, and see how like the gauge changes and stuff like that. But yeah, that is the last thing I've got over the past month. And you know, next time you will see this cast on into a garment. Hopefully a gauge swatch will happen today. I want to like just get all the yardage and weigh how much I have before I start doing that. But yeah, that is all the things. Just kind of looking at all the stuff that I have around me, especially since it's been a minute since I've done a video. And yeah, that's all the things. And I will see you guys hopefully in a couple of weeks to see what I've done, see what I've maybe finished, what I've cast on, if I have any new spins or anything like that. But all of the things are down below, all of the dyers and all the project pages and all of my links are down there. And if you want to like and subscribe, you can. Otherwise, I will see you guys in a couple of weeks. Bye.